Myself, Dr. P.K. Verma, welcome you in my biology classes. Today I shall discuss with the male reproductive system in case of humans. In the CBSE syllabus of plus 2, human reproduction is taken in chapter 3. So at first we shall discuss the male reproductive system and then female reproductive system. In the male reproductive system, testes are the primary sex organs, and in addition they have epididymis, vasa differentia, ejaculatory duct forming the male genital duct. And there are two important glands, seminal vesicles and prostate gland in human. In the animals like rat and rabbit, there is a coagulating gland, and in elephant, seminal vesicles are absent, but the coagulating glands are better developed. Now, the testes develop anterior to kidneys, but they descend down and come out of abdomen. They come to lie in an extra abdominal sac known as a scrotal sac. The passage between abdomen and a scrotal sac becomes narrow. It is called inguinal canal. Now, a muscle band holding the two testes is attached to the dorsal body wall, passes through this canal. It is called mesorchium, and along mesorchium the blood vessels, arteries and veins along with the nerves form a inguinal cord. The vasa differentia also come out through inguinal canal and enter into abdomen. Now see the structure of male genital system. You see it is a testis. Here the right testis has been shown. On the surface of testis, epididymis is present, and from the posterior part of epididymis, the vasa differentia comes out and enter into abdomen. It again moves backward and come to join the duct arising from this seminal vesicle. So the duct of seminal vesicle and the vasa differentia together form a very short ejaculatory duct. Now there is urinary bladder, and the urinary duct also comes, and these two ducts, the ejaculatory duct and urinary ducts together form the urethra. So urethra is the common urinogenital duct of male that passes through penis, and it ultimately opens at the tip of penis, that is known as glans penis. Now it is a sagittal section of the right testis. Inside testis there are fibrous muscles and some of the fibers enter into the connective tissue, dividing the space of testis into chamber-like structures. But in the adults, these fibers are poorly developed because if the fiber will develop much more, it will obstruct the movement of substances, the food materials as well as the hormones. Now inside these small chamber-like structures, there are large number of seminiferous tubules. These are long tubules not less than 1 meter, 1 meter in length. So they become coiled together. And all such seminiferous tubules lying here or here come to join each other, forming a net-like structure known as the reed testis. Reed testis is a net-like structure that is formed by an anastomosing mixing of the various seminiferous tubules. Now from reed testis, 40 or 50 short small duct come out of testis. These are the vasa efferentia and they join the epididymis. In fact, the sperm duct is very long and its proximal part become bunched together and form the epididymis. Its anterior part is known as cauda epididymis, the middle part is corpus epididymis, and the posterior part tail is cauda epididymis. So the caput, corpus and cauda, head, body and tail, these are the three parts of epididymis. The vasa differentia come out of epididymis and move into the body, that is into abdomen. Now the outer covering of testis is called tunica vaginalis and inside the inner covering is tunica albuginea. It is a cross section, transverse section of testis showing some of the well-developed seminiferous tubules. One tubule, second tubule, third tubule, and there are parts of other tubules. The cells appearing in the dark purple color. This color is because of staining with hematoxylin and eosin. The cells are in different stages of spermatogenesis. Here is the space in between the seminiferous tubules. You see the boundary of the seminiferous tubules. These boundaries are called tunica propria, and inside the space between seminiferous tubules, that is in the interstitium, there are many interstitial cells. Here also there is interstitial cell. These cells are known as Leydig cells. These cells are endocrine cells which act under control of luteinizing hormone of pituitary gland. In return, in response to LH, these cells, that is the Leydig cells, produce androgen, and androgen directly act on the germinal epithelium present at the outer level of the seminiferous tubule. So under control of androgen, the germinal epithelium divide to form spermatoid and spermatozoa. Another hormone of pituitary, FSH, directly acts on germinal epithelium, and so FSH and androgen together control spermatogenesis. In the previous chapters, how the spermatozoa are formed, how spermatogonial cell, primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, spermatids and spermatozoa are differentiated has already been discussed. Here one thing is marked, that in mammals, some of the cells on germinal epithelium become very large. These cells are known as Sertoli cell. Here a large Sertoli cell will be found here and there. These are not regularly available at equal distances. The spermatids develop into a spermatozoa on the surface of the Sertoli cell, and it is said that the Sertoli cell provide them extra nutrition for differentiation. So the Sertoli cells are also known as nurse cell for the development of spermatozoa. In this section, you can see some long cells also here, wherever I have ticked now. These are a small fibroblasts. Here also some long cells are present. These are a small fibroblasts. When the number of fibroblasts will increase, the connective tissue fiber will increase, that may lead to infertility. Now the same diagram has been shown in another section, but in higher magnification. You see the cells in different stages of spermatogenesis, and this is the germinal epithelium of one tubule, germinal epithelium of another tubule. These are the spermatogonial cell, from which the primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, and so many smaller spermatids are formed. The interstitial cells also are seen clearly. These elongated cells inside the inner surface of the seminiferous tubules are actually the sperm heads. These are pointed structures in this section where I have shown. These structures are also found in the upper left seminiferous tubule. Now, what are the functions of testis? I have discussed. The Leydig cells produce androgen under control of luteinizing hormone. So, LH is also known as interstitial cell stimulating hormone, only in case of male, not in case of female. The spermatogenesis takes place under control of androgen and another pituitary hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, that is FSH. The testis produces only a small volume of secretion, 0.5 ml only. The sperms are differentiated on the surface of Sertoli cells. So Sertoli cell play very important role in the sperm maturation and serves as nurse cell. In case of overproduction, Sertoli cells release inhibin to inhibit secretion of FSH from pituitary. For the competition point of view, this hormone inhibin is very important. If the sperms are formed regularly but these are not discharged out, the epididymis and testis become full of spermatozoa. In that situation, inhibin stops spermatogenesis and the old sperms die, digested and resolved. Now it has roughly three parts: head or caput, body or corpus, and tail or cauda epididymis. Sperms stay here for at least 24 hours before they become fully mature. Epididymis also secrete only a small amount of secretion, that is 0.5 to 1 ml secretion. However, this secretion is very important. It contains amylase, hyaluronidase. These two are enzymes that help in fertilization, and a nutrient, glyceryl phosphoryl choline. It gives extra energy at the time of sperm capacitation when it passes through the cervix. Now, in most animals, seminal vesicles are used to store spermatozoa. The name simply means seminal vesicle. It means the vesicle storing semen or sperms. But in our cases, it does not store sperm. It forms 4 to 5 ml of dense complex secretion containing a large number of proteins of low and high molecular weights. Two important proteins are coagulase and vesiculase. When the semen is discharged out, because of coagulase, it becomes coagulated, and within 5 to 10 minutes it again liquefies. Seminal vesicle also secretes high concentration of fructose, more than 100 mg per ml. The spermatozoa utilize fructose instead of glucose for their energy. Now there is a gland, prostate gland. The prostate gland is present at the junction of excretory duct and the ejaculatory duct. These are a small walnut-shaped gland, very hard and fibrous, and the weight is hardly 15 to 25 milligram. The standard value is 11 gram, that ranges between 7 to 16 grams. They contain 40 to 50 follicles into which a large number of enzymes are secreted. Most of the enzymes are related to oxidation of fructose and providing energy to the spermatozoa. But prostate gland has a very important enzyme, acid phosphatase, that is used as marker of prostatic activity. In humans, usually the prostatic secretion constitutes roughly 30% of volume of semen. The other 70% being spermatozoa and seminal vesicle, fluid of seminal vesicle. Now urethra passes through penis. In the wall of urethra there are many small Cooper's gland or bulbourethral glands. They secrete a small amount of albumin that just act as lubricant. It is not important for fertility of the male. The penis is a muscular structure. In the two sides of urethra, penis contains a spongy tissue, the corpus cavernosum, forming two columns running along the side of penis, and from its center a blood vessel passes that increases pressure in the tissue and help in erection of penis. Another spongy tissue is corpus spongiosum. It is running along the front of penis and ending at the glans penis. In the transverse section of penis you can see these two parts sidewise are the corpora cavernosa, and in the center there is blood vessel. I have made it red in color. It is the urethra. Around urethra also there is a spongy tissue, that is corpus cavernosum. Blood vessels are also present dorsally. There are two veins, so it is rich in blood circulation. During erection, blood flows into penis under high pressure, but it does not return back in the same amount, and therefore it causes erection, swelling and elongation of the penis. In the next session, we shall see the structure of female genital system. Many thanks. Meet you in the next session.